Well, good morning. I hope you're doing well today. I was sitting here getting my sermon ready for this Sunday. I'm teaching through the story of Samson. I'm in Judges 15 and just thinking about all the connections that I'm trying to make to Christ and pointing the story and the narrative and how Samson is a type and the fulfillment of so many of these pictures that we see. And I was thinking about the way that I can understand the scriptures and the way that I think about certain things. And I just wanted to do a video this morning talking about three living theologians who have really impacted my life, especially over the last 2 years, two or three, and just thinking about kind of how they've helped me see the Bible and what they've done for me. Whenever we think about what the scripture is teaching, there are always a set of principles that we bring and assumptions that we bring. And one thing that I see so many people do is that if they find someone who disagrees with them on one point, then they won't listen to this certain person. They'll only listen to people who agree with them on every single point. And one of the greatest strengths that I think I've had in my Christian walk is listening to people who I disagree with on certain points. So whether it's people who are different than me on baptism, or whether it's people who are different with me on eschatology, or different with me on ecclesiology, on these different things, you can gain things and learn and grow from people who don't agree with you on every single point. At the end of the day, it's your job to take in the good, discard the bad, agree with what you believe the scripture is teaching, and disagree if you think they're wrong. Another thing I see so many people do is we elevate guys so much that whatever they say, they can't be wrong. So just remember that whenever you're studying folks, study folks that you disagree with in some parts, because that doesn't mean they can't teach you in some certain areas. So I want to give you three theologians that have really helped me. Number one is James White. James White is the director of Alpha and Omega Ministries. He is extremely technical. He is really good in the Greek languages. He is an apologist. He does all kind of debates. He debates Muslims. He debates Mormons. He debates just about anything except for eschatology. But James White has helped me understand the Scripture in so many ways, especially the Reformed position. If you're looking for a solid Reformed teacher, then James White is the guy for you. And I think he's someone that you could study and read his books, all of his stuff. He's got a lot of stuff on YouTube. He has many books that he's written. The Forgotten Trinity, if you're looking for things on the Trinity. The King James Only controversy, he's got one on that. He has one on Muslim faith. There's all kind of things that you can find for James White. I was fortunate enough to meet him when he came to Jonesboro last year. He is a theologian I think that would be well worth your studying. And he has debated, he's got a couple debates. He debated Greg Strawbridge, who passed away recently, over the baptism issue, the Presbyterian Baptist issue. That's on YouTube. You can find it. He debated Bill Lisco over the Baptist Presbyterian issue. So you can check those two out, and he's just done some great work. Very appreciative for Dr. White and what he's done. Number two, Bruce Gore. Bruce Gore has had a great influence on me as far as the area of church history. He has helped me probably understand the context of the New Testament more than anyone that I've studied. He is Presbyterian. He's in Spokane, Washington. And he did a sermon series on YouTube through the book of Acts that I absolutely loved. And he taught it in his Sunday school class. So much insight, so much backstory and background. He wrote a book on the history and the context of the Bible. So check that out. That's Bruce Gore, one of the most humble men that I've come across. He was gracious enough. I just randomly sent him an email one day, and he did an interview with me over postmillennialism. One of the most humble men, and to see someone who has that much knowledge and that much humility is just something that we can all grasp from. So you can learn so much, and he's good at things other than church history as well. So don't let me lead you down that road. But he's someone who has helped me in church history more than anyone else I've come across. And the third one, the third living theologian who I believe is not doing well health-wise, but he has probably changed the way I read the Bible more than anyone in my entire life, and it's Dr. James Jordan. James Jordan has his hand in the Theophilus Institute and Biblical Horizons. He's written many books. You can check him out. He has helped me see the Scriptures as one story. He has helped me see the Scripture in a way that no one else has, making connections that I've never seen that. I've read Bible stories my entire life and never seen them the way that I see them now. You could say that I'm seeing the Bible through new eyes. And Dr. Jordan, he wrote a book called Through New Eyes. And if you haven't read the book Through New Eyes, then I would highly encourage you to read it. It'll help you piece things together in the Scripture. It'll help you understand the way God wrote. And I really think it's a blessing. That book has changed the way I read the Scripture. Not as far as just a technical sense goes. I would say James White is the best theologian that I study on the technical side. But on biblical symbolism and some things like that, Dr. James Jordan, he's the best that I've seen on that side. He has influenced men such as Alistair Roberts and Peter Leithart. Some of those guys, I don't agree with every conclusion that they all come up to. Like I said, filter the good and disagree with what you believe the Bible's teaching against. But those guys have been greatly instrumental. And you can see, really, whenever I'm listening to preachers or listening to people on YouTube or even pastors that I know, you can always tell who has read James Jordan because he's had that kind of influence. It's just been a profound influence on people. One of the best books that I've read on the Old Testament is called A House for My Name, and it's written by Peter Leithart. But you can see the influences of James Jordan in his book Through New Eyes all the way through that, and just making connections that all point to Christ. It's so good. I'm grateful for these men. We should be very appreciative of those who have done work before us and study them, and at the same time hold them in high regard. Yet let's not think that they can't be fallible, okay? So those three guys again are James White, Dr. Bruce Gore, and then James B. Jordan. Very appreciative of those guys. I think you should check them out. Give them a look, search them. You can find, they all have stuff on YouTube. I've been doing this YouTube channel now since December, just before Christmas. And it really is a shame that I think James Jordan is one of, if not the best theologians who are living. I have almost as many subscribers on YouTube as James Jordan does. And that's an absolute joke. I think people should know him. I think he will help them read the Scriptures. I talk to so many people who say, man, I read the Scriptures and I don't really understand what I'm reading. I think that this man can help you. Not that I agree. He symbolizes things a little too far for me sometimes, and maybe it's just over my head and I'm not there yet. But guys, I really think you should check these guys out. They will be a great blessing to your spiritual walk. You can know the Lord and really understand the Scriptures with their help. Great teachers. Everything we're doing in the Christian life is so that we can know the Lord better and walk with Him better, to have a better understanding of who He is, and really just a love for Him. And we want to live our lives for the glory of God. And I think these three guys can help you do that. Hope you have a great week. God bless you, and see you soon.